Hey, everybody, back at it on this Thursday afternoon, getting ready to, set sail to the finish line in the month of June. Ron Nicoletti, Jason Blewett alongside. Hope you're doing okay, Ronnie, and everybody, as we start the week with a 9-race card.
9-race card, fast and firm, and a big, huge carryover in the Rainbow Six.
Yeah, more on that in a few moments. Summit of Speed Day, of course, is upon us, and do keep in mind 14 races on a 2019 Summit of Speed renewal that was drawn yesterday. We will have that first early post of 11:30 a.m., 11:35 Eastern Time, give or take. Number of stakes, in fact, 5 of them on the card, Ronnie, including a couple of graded ones. First up in the graded department is the Princess Rooney, that has a monstrous favorite in Stormy Embrace, who's 4-5 and looks every bit an odds-on favorite on paper.
Yeah, just the one to beat. Won it last year. Win and you're in. Grade 2 event, $250,000 guaranteed to one to beat. Now, I like Razorback Lady to maybe grab a share.
With Julian Leparoux in town, Louis Saez will be riding as well at Gulfstream on Saturday afternoon. The Smile Sprint, to me, not only is the last of the 5 stakes, I think it's the best sprint and best stakes on the entire card. It is a really good race, and I think most of us are really excited, not only some of the familiar names in that cast of 7, but what happens with Jalen Journey, who's stepping up in the stakes company. He's been so good for Kathleen O'Connell.
Yeah, I've been turned back to a sprint distance. I think he's the one to beat in there, 9-5. But boy, Royal Squeeze has been good, and just everybody in the race. Fast Pass came flying last time out to win a stake. So there's different ways you can go, and of course, Garden Tie won by like 11 lengths.
Oh, he was so good for his prep, or in his prep rather, and ran so well and so fast that Ralph Nix opted to not go into the carry back, where he would have been a huge favorite. And they're trying to take down the Grade 3 Smile Sprint, a purse of $250,000. That's coming your way on Saturday. A lot to look forward to over the next few hours, though, on this Thursday afternoon, June the 27th, including, of course, the start of a major, our biggest week, I mean, being frank about it, during the summertime at Gulfstream. Very much looking forward to the 8th race between Vincero and Winking at the Dude. They've got a nice rivalry going. And then how about the first 7 races today for the gals? How about that?
Phillies and Mavs, first 7 races on our 9-race card.
Definitely. Carryover situation, a biggie in the Rainbow Six. And outside of even Summit of Speed Day on Saturday, June 29th, we do have that mandatory payout day coming your way this Sunday, June the 30th. How do you like that? Just under $3 million.
It'll be way over $3 million in the first second that the windows open up. So we're dealing with $3+ million in that carryover. Pool starts race number 4 with a 9-race card.
And now I'm hoping Terry Pompey starts the day and the week on the right foot. Not only does she have Winking at the Dude coming up in our featured 8th race, she sends out major players in both halves of the early double, including my early pick 5 single in the 3 Swapino. This is the spot for this filly who's dropping down and needs a drop to the bottom level claiming price, maiden claiming price on the turf. No singles the remainder of the way in a $12 ticket. And in talking about Swapino, Ronnie, who, by the way, we are fast and firm, and it is just a clear and sunny summertime day in South Florida. Our first race, a maiden 12-5 for the Phillies and Mares, the first of 5 on the turf. Swapino back to Miguel Vasquez.
Yeah, drop it to the 12-5 level, stretching out to a mile. Close to finish 4th as the favorite. 20 types. You mentioned Terry. Strictly the one to beat with Miguel up there. Good single for you.
Yeah, no, I hope so, my friend. Let's get the 3-7-1. Ice cold try home on a warm Thursday at GP. Now, moving on to the second, again, 4 races today on the main track. We go with 6 in this 3-and-up filly and mare, $25,000 to $20,000 claimer. And I think it's fitting, whether you like the one Midnight Miracle or not. We both like Swapino for these connections in the first. Tell us a little bit about Midnight Miracle, who's back in for the quarter.
Well, the only 4-time winner in the field is dropping to the 25 level after failing to fire when facing 50 starter optional claimers last time out. So I looked up a stat on Terry Pompey. 50% drop in claiming price on the dirt. She's 5 for 14, 36%, 43% in money. 322 is the return of investment. I like Archie on paper, the one to beat. Going to try and do that with Midnight Miracle.
Fair enough. I think she'll run well. I feel like I like Archie, slightly the horse to beat, like you just said. A good effort off the claim in context for Angel Quiros, who's had a good run of things here the last couple of months. The pace a little different, too, from the race drawn with that that scratch of the 6 talk back. Perhaps that moves up the 3 Fire Angel McKella a little bit as she tries to wire the field, you would think, dropping into a claiming race for the first time. Let's move on to the third, Ronnie. We're back on the turf going 5 with this 3-and-up filly mare, 12-5 maiden claimer. I'm towards the outside, and I think a lot of people are going to look at this race, Ronnie, for better or for worse, and are going to like some amalgamation of either the 7 Judge Kitten and or the number 8 Anjali.
Yeah, and I had a tough time separating, but I did go with Judge Kitten, who's turning back to 5 after responding in the first race under the tutelage of trainer Angel Quiros. That stalked to pace 6, going 7.5 furlongs. Cecilio Penalba in to ride this horse. Barn is just going so good. That would made me separate between Anjali, Antonio Sano, leading rider Edgard Zayas.
I like Edgard, who, by the way, has an 8-win lead, 8-win cushion over Amiseo Jaramillo. So, I mean, Amiseo and Edgard, for that matter, I mean, both those guys can bang out a 3, 4, 5-win day at times. So that riding title may come down to ultimately the last race here this Sunday afternoon. 7-8 for me, or 7-8 for Ronnie, 8-7 for me in the third, and we'll take a little breather with that opening pick 3 down. Coming back with much more after this.
Summer's fastest day of racing. Saturday, June 29th, Summit of Speed. Action and adrenaline await. 14 exciting horse races. 5 stake races, including the Breeders' Cup. Win and you're in. Princess Rooney. $14 million Prestige Import Supercar Spectacular.
The Princess Rooney to Stormy and Braid's powerhouse performance. She punches her ticket to the Breeders' Cup and wins by 5.
Gulfstream Park, where winners are made. For dining reservation and VIP tickets, visit Gulfstreampark.com.
24/7 over at Gulfstreampark.com, your one-stop shopping for all things GP and beyond. As Ronnie, our lifeline here at Gulfstream, and Jason rejoin you from our clubhouse studios. A lot to look forward to again, Ronnie. Not to repeat, but Summit of Speed, mandatory payout this weekend. What about tomorrow? A little Twilight Friday action. We will have a later than normal, if you will, post time for a weekday.
Yeah, we start about 2:15 or thereabouts all summer long, all the way till the end of August. So that's each and every Friday. We got great things going on, music, and, of course, the Stronach 5.
The Stronach 5, which is a Stronach 5 entirely devoted to the East Coast. Santa Anita's meet has come to an end. Golden Gate ended a couple of weeks ago, so we will begin with Laurel Park in the 8th at about 4:50, and we run right through our final pick 3 at GP. A cash out is the Twilight Friday finale at about 6:35, 6:40 Eastern. Gulfstream and Laurel, if you like those 2 tracks, you're going to be in heaven with that 12% takeout.
Yeah, it's me and Stan putting a ticket together, so we'll see how this thing fares out. Get a couple of nice races from Gulfstream Park in that sequence.
Yo, good stakes on the program tomorrow as well. The Golden Isles for 2-year-old fillies for sure. Now, Rainbow 6 time, just under 2.8 million, give or take, in the carryover kitty, and a jackpot wager. We have not paid out the single ticket since the meet began way back when in early April. What are you doing here, Ronnie, as we start things out?
Well, we got a 43.20. I think I got the logical 2 in here with Rosetta's Gift and Coffee Futures. Now, my best bet today comes in race number 7. It's the 2 horse. I didn't stand alone. That horse is called Helen. If you go back and look at this horse, stakes placed in its only previous race on the turf was 4-5 on the dirt last time out, 6-1 on the morning line. Long shot comes in race number 8 today, and that's Zippy. And this one, third off the bench, 12-1, was 4th behind. Who last time out? Jalen Journey.
Oh, Jalen Journey, who's certainly bound for the Smile Sprint and will be favored there at his stakes debut here late Saturday, race 13 of 14 on the Summit of Speed card. And much like Jalen Journey, we've got Kathleen O'Connell in the mix. Of course, she trains Jalen Journey. She's also got the 3 Rosetta's Gift, who, if you're not a fan, or at least as far as the win goes, you don't want somebody, because you've got a 4-horse rematch from the Coffee Futures race that you picked on top from June 13th. The 3 Rosetta's Gift is clearly the other horse who did not run in that race, and that's why I'm going to take her on top.
Yeah, I had a problem just because of the penchant of finishing second all the time.
Right.
12 starts, 7 seconds and 2/3. I did go with Coffee Futures, a lightly raced order perspective, and that sort of sold me on this. He's been knocking on the door at the distance, at the 10 level. Tammy Levy, Miguel Vasquez. I thought those were the logical two in there. Like we did, we just flip-flopped the top two. I'm using both. Lest it's factual, who finished in front of Coffee Futures in her 20th race, is trying to score. So we'll see how that works out. I think the 3 and 10 are the ones to beat.
Oh,
now.
they definitely are. And as far as a last-out effort, Coffee Futures ran 10 lengths better than Yes It's Factual. Yes It's Factual beat her late,
Right.
but your top
Right.
pick ran a way better race, and we'll see how they do in that 4-horse rematch. And again, you got KO and Edgar Zayas with the number 3, Rosetta's Gift. Let's move on to the 5th here as we continue our glib pace here on this Thursday edition of Gulfstream today. We've got some 3-and-up Filly Mare 12-5 claimers as we start the late pick 5. I am 6-8 in the opening leg, and in fact, there's 2 horses in this cast of 12-5 turf claimers that are coming out of wins, the only 2 out of victories, and they both have found their way onto my ticket. 3 deep in the 6th race. I've got a couple, including Is Adorable Aida and the 7 LeBay. In the 7th race, that's a pretty good race on the turf. And then my single is the number 3, Winking at the Dude. We may ultimately have Terry Pompey sweeping the early double, and her best horse, arguably her best horse in the barn, is coming up, Ronnie, in the 8th race. A pretty good matchup between that horse and Vincero, who I trimmed off the ticket.
Yeah, and I mean, my long shot in there, but I used them all as zippy. I thought maybe you get a piece for it for Leo Gabriel Jr., but you got the logical 2.
Yeah, definitely. Now, the 9th race, meanwhile, speaking of the logical 2, the 5 Grand Causeway is kind of a wise guy, potential upsetter, and the 7 Southwest Bay is going to be a massive favorite. I mean, there was a pretty big scratch to begin with in Chandler's Drama, but even 3-1 seemed a little conservative on the morning line, and in my humble opinion, that horse is going to be a huge favorite for Wesley Ward in the nightcap. But let's talk about, Ronnie, this cast of 12-5 Filly Mare claimers, led by a last-out winner, and we'll show you the race for trainer Ruben Gracida in Rate of Return. Got a great ride. I mean, this ride here beneath Jairo Rendon really, to me, encapsulates his 2-month run and stay down here at Gulfstream Park. I mean, coming back from Colombia, where he was born and spent the winter, and not really being all that well known, he has made a name for himself in a very short amount of time, and you see his confidence not even steadying, just getting her through down inside, and that ground-saving trip made the difference. Where do you stand with her coming back looking for another win?
Well, beat a couple of next out winners in there. I just thought Rate of Return was the one to be, trying to make it 3 in a row. You saw that performance last time out. So beat a couple of next out winners. The other horse in here is the other horse that you have on top of your ticket. If you're putting your ticket together, I think you got to use Beach Dreaming. We moved to the Jose D'Angelo bond, stretches out to the mile in the 16th.
And although Jose D'Angelo might not be a household name, he's only saddled 2 horses over the last 5 years. Both ran second, including a horse who he ran here a few weeks ago, first off the claim, who I didn't like because that horse was changing barns. So don't let that scare you. It seems like Jose is doing a good job with the 2 horses he has started, Beach Dreaming for me. Let's move on to race number 6 as we get back on the main track. 2-year-old fillies coming up in this $50,000 maiden claimer. And I'd be lying if I thought going in, Ronnie, I'd said, oh, Wesley Ward will have a Churchill Downs drop-down second-time starter. But he does here, kind of an odd spot, but the 9 Stunning Munnings will likely go favorite, and I picked this horse on top, hoping she would just wire the field.
Yeah, I mean, the logical contender in there. I did go with the horse that you have in third, 5 Sansa, but Stunning Munnings, let's show you stat with Wesley Ward, with his 2-year-old horses going maiden special weight to maiden claimers and going turf to dirt. He's 5 for 17, 29%. 53% of the money, $1.75 to return investment, so he does a good job with this horse. Alvin Jimenez will handle that combo, drop down, surface switch this afternoon. But I went with the number 5, Sansa will try and dethrone this group at 5/8. Rallied to finish third against those maiden special weight competition, going 4.5 furlongs. I think the drop down to the 50 level should help this horse today.
And clearly she's got experience and she's got some seasoning, and she's run fine in her 2 races to date for trainer Oscar Gonzalez. Stunning Munnings for me. We both have the number 8 Extreme Measures in the mix. I'm 985. Ronnie's 598. We will see a filly based over at GPW with Kathleen by Competitive Edge, who might be a stallion, a new stallion to keep an eye on. Any thoughts here with Extreme Measures after those GPW breezes?
Yeah, and I just put in there, you should, it's more than enough here to pique your interest when you're looking. You're seeing Kathleen, Edgar Zayas rides, good works across town. Lots to like about that horse. Would not be shocked if that one won.
Few different rematches scattered throughout today's card, and among the most important one, I'm going to say, occurs in race number 7, where you've got basically half the field, or just under half the field, coming out of the same race back on the final day of May 31st. Hard to believe we're in the waning days of June, by the way. Time continues to fly. We'll pick this race up, though, because it concerns the number 6 Isadorable Aida for trainer Steve Dwoskin, and she got a terrific ride from Miguel Vasquez. I also want to point out, and we had her circled, the number 9, LeBay, who just in her first start in this country, her first start in nearly 13 months, just was never able to get over into a spot where she could settle and be comfortable. She was a good 3 to 4 wide throughout, whereas turning for home in that blue cap, here comes Miguel with Isadorable Aida. This was a great ride, not only because she won, of course, Ronnie, but he was able to save ground around both turns. And what I liked is, I would argue she showed a bit of a new dimension, getting herself closer to the pace. I think that handiness just makes her that much more of a threat, and she wins a head bob. Even a tough photo weeks later to call there, but she did indeed win. I like her coming back, and again, I just love the fact Miguel was able to get her in the game last time out.
I mean, you got the logical 2 to win up there, but I did go with the number 2, Helen, in here, 6 to 1, as I mentioned. Really like this horse today. Stakes placed in her only previous turf race, so I like that. Moves to the Ruben Gracita barn after the claim, goes back to Lauren. First start, tracked the pace last time out, finished second, was the 4 to 5 favorite that day against those 20 claimers going 7 furlongs. That was on that wet surface listed as good. It's just a little bit of a shot for me. I like the fact that this horse was stakes placed on the grass. I think the grass is going to help. Isadorable Aida and the 7-horse LeBay are the ones to beat.
And you got the speed, too.
Yeah. Well, that was my thing. I'm always looking for that. And I'm just thinking maybe it's 6 to 1. We'll get this horse on top. Certainly will help my Rainbow Six.
And I'll tell you, Ruben Gracita hasn't run that many, but his horses have run big. I mean, he's got 2 potentially legit turf runners today. Rate of return in the opening leg of the Rainbow, and of course, in the 7th race, we've got Helen, Ronnie's long shot. Your long shot today, right?
No, my long shot is Zippy. That was my best bet.
The BB at 6 to 1. How about that, folks? I mean, the Dr. Value. That ought to be your name. Let's move on to the 8th. Good feature here in our first race on the card, not restricted to fillies and mares. In fact, the Colts and Geldings get their chance to shine in both halves of the late double. We go 2 turns. Myo is 16th on the main, first finish line in use. And Safi, who's our leading trainer at the meet with 20 wins, he's had a nice rivalry of late with the number 3, Winking at the Dude, because Winking at the Dude was beaten a whisker by Safi's So Long Chuck last time out. But the race 2 back is certainly worth noting for Winking at the Dude. And we'll look at his effort back on May 17th. He lost a heartbreaker. And I remember you weren't here. This was Preak this week. And Pete wasn't totally sold. Pete Aiello, of course, did the early show with them. Wasn't sold on Winking at the Dude, but he liked So Long Chuck, and I thought he was nuts because I didn't think So Long Chuck could handle the distance, and it turned out to be a pretty good race. For me, Ronnie, I look at Winking at the Dude, who comes on late in those purple silks on the outside, and I say not only was he able to back up that win at nearly 40 to 1 from late April, he was able to run as well, losing a tough one around 2 turns. To me, that's the biggest key.
Yeah, and I wrote my analysis that this one is strictly the one to beat for Terry Pompey. So what I'm going to try and do is beat it with my long shot in there, and that's the 7 Zippy, making the usually fruitful 3rd start back from the layoff. 3rd race over the track. Got bumped at the start, finished a wide 4th last time out by on that much the best winner I mentioned earlier, Jalen Journey, who's going to be in the big stakes on Saturday, Leo Gabriel Jr., quietly doing an excellent job. Luca Panici named on this Louisiana bred, and that's where Leo is. He's a Louisiana bred.
Oh,
so
you better believe it, man.
Zippy, but Winking at the Dude when you're putting your tickets together. The one to beat with Vincero. Those are the 2 you got to look at in here.
Now, Vincero might be a little better. He's certainly more accomplished and more experienced around 1 turn, say 7 to a mile. But do note he did win at GPW around 2 turns last fall. Didn't go this far, only won at a mile, but he has had technical success again, staying 2 turns. Nice little matchup. And to know Leo Gabriel is to like him. And I love that all his horses are bred in Louisiana. Anyway, race number 9, let's wrap it up here. $40,000 to $30,000 3-and-up maiden claimers. Big favorite coming up in the nightcap. And in fact, you could see the British bred Southwest Bay run really well in a good field. This was not a, quiet springtime, late May a group of turf maidens. I feel as though this gelding, who's very much got a British-bred pedigree on both sides, caught a legitimately tough field and deep field led by Big Agenda, who was 3-5, and even Holy Meister, who finished so well as a half the Cairo Prince. My one question is not the effort here. What's the deal with the drop-in for 40? Is Wesley trying to get this horse claimed away? What's the story, Ronnie?
Well, Wesley usually spots them where they're not win. He, where they can win. He's got so many horses that he just puts them in the spots. And, of course, you're going to play devil's advocate. Why the drop? Wesley Ward. I just thought it was the one to beat in there. Hard count in second, and the horse that you have on top. Pretty interesting Grand Causeway. Never trying the turf before.
Yes, first time on the turf for a winner in Victor Barboza Jr. by the late Giants Causeway, which I like for turf. You've got a Dam who was 2 for 2 on synthetic, never tried turf, but I think the correlation's there to succeed on the grass. And third foal in the family, there's a half-sister. She is by more than ready, but that said, she's a 5-time winner on the turf. My little sneaky first-time grass play in the 5 Grand Causeway in the nightcap. You remember that So Long Chuck race, Pete? Yeah, he gave the big thumbs up. I was not happy. We're breaking the fourth wall, everybody. Ronnie and I joined by Acacia Courtney throughout the week.
Yeah, Acacia's back. She'll be here for the weekend, for the big Summit of Speed weekend. So good to see Acacia back.
And the man that beat me last time out with winking at the dude, Pete Aiello, is coming up next with those Thursday scratches and changes.
The best chance for success begins with a solid foundation. At Hardacre Farm, early personal one-on-one care starts the journey to becoming a champion. Bred to leading stallions, our mares represent the highest standards. Hardacre Farm's signature in the breeding industry. Based in Ocala, Florida, breeder and owner Amy Tarrant has inspired excellence throughout her entire career. In your quest for success, start with Hardacre Farm, breeding the champions of tomorrow.